Welcome to Jack Talk. Need to file your taxes but just don't know where to start? On today's episode, we'll give you all the information you need. We'll also take a look into SFA's Miss Greek pageant along with who was the best dressed on last year's Oscar Awards. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this one. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Christian Davis. Today we invited a local tax expert, Aline Eden, to inform us, our viewers, on how to prepare for tax season. Thank you, Miss Aline. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Thanks for coming in and speaking with us. So just tell us a bit about yourself and your business.
Okay. My name is Eileen Eden, Eden's Tax Service, and I've been in business for 15 plus years doing taxes here in Nacogdoches.
Yes, ma'am. So what made you want to get into the business of taxes?
I started with another local company just doing data entry, and I enjoyed the tax business, so I decided to open a business of my own.
Yes, ma'am. So it's a local Nacogdoches tax service. So do you feel like you get majority Nacogdoches locals or SFA students coming in?
We have some SFA students come in. We have local, and we have out of center, and the surrounding areas, Lufkin.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so what are some any changes this year to things we can claim or exemptions on taxes?
Okay, yes, it's quite natural. The students, they can still claim some of the deduction for their books. And like with the 1098T, you have to at least have that 1098T telling how much you can claim and put on your 8863.
Okay, so what are some other common tax forms that we might need to know about for college students to file?
Okay, that's most of the 1098T, and if you're in business, some college students have businesses of their own. And they might get like a 1099 miscellaneous. You have to have that, and if you want to do some of the deductions off your 1099, you will have to have some kind of receipts, good receipts. You have to have ledgers to help support that you claim on your 1099 miscellaneous.
Yes, ma'am.
For self-employment.
Okay, so I know a lot of us we're college students. You may not make that much money, so to speak. Is there a specific amount that we have to make in order to file?
If you make under $800, you won't have to file, but 800 and up, you will have to file the taxes.
Wow, and that's funny because I know a lot of people really aren't sure that they don't know about that. And if they don't file, is there any kind of penalty that you know of?
Yes, later on, because after you make that $800, it will go to the IRS, and they'll let you know that you need to file taxes on that $800.
Now, I know you've been in this business for a long time. What are some common issues that you see going on the day-to-day that can be easily avoided with little simple things?
Make sure you get all your W-2s, all your 1099s before you file your taxes. And even like some of the college kids, they forget about the 1098T, and then they just be eager to file, and then they'll come back and say, oh, I forgot. So that is a problem. Then we have to go back and do a amended tax form. And then it'll take a little bit because they'll have to mail that tax in. Where if they would wait and just file everything together, it would be so much easier, and you get all your money at the same time.
Okay. Now, is that the same for people who, say, have more than one job? If they have 2 or 3 and they get 2 W-2s and they go file, and then they're like, hey, I forgot I had another job. Yep. Do they have to go back and do amended tax
They have to do amended tax thing, because each year is on its own. You can't wait till next year, say, oh, I forgot last year to file. You have to, can I file it with this tax? Or we have had people to come in would want to file, you know, the previous year taxes with that. You can't do that. Each year fall on its own.
Right. So to avoid complications with filing your taxes, a lot of us think we're kind of, you know, math whizzes, things like that. Do you think we should file our own taxes, or to avoid those little complications or penalties with the IRS, should we, you know, go to a professional?
Oh, yes. Quite natural. You need to go to a professional.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you make a mistake on your taxes, you said that you would have to amend them. That seems like that can be a long, drawn-out, tedious process. So, I mean, it may take some time for us to receive it, but what actually goes into making an amendment to your
Okay, we
taxes?
have to go back in, and it's a whole lot easier if you go to the person that have already prepared your taxes, because they would have to just go back in and do a 1040X, opposed to if you go to another office, we would have to go back and put everything that they first sent to the IRS. So it's a whole lot easier. If you forget, try to go back, even if you file it yourself, and just go back to the same tax office that you went to. It's a whole lot easier. And you can't e-file the amended tax. You have to mail it in. And it could take from 4 to 6 weeks before you get it, or longer.
Okay. And so, are there any specific changes that have went on, like in
Yes,
regards?
the insurance. We haven't.
What about
with
the insurance exactly?
Some people come in, they say they have insurance, and they don't have it. And we have some that's being held up, especially with the Obamacare, because you have to bring that certificate in, put that number. We have some held up right now on account of that they didn't bring it in.
Okay. So, I know I've been hearing a lot of news circulation around TurboTax. Do you know anything about that? I know that there was allegedly some kind of scam, and they would have to buy a new version of it and weren't able to complete their taxes. Have anyone come in to your office specifically regarding that?
Yes, I have had some to come in, but I'm not for sure if it was a scam. They say they just could go so far and it wouldn't let them finish it. So I've had maybe about 3 people to come in, and I had to complete it. And after that, we didn't have any problems because they already got their checks back.
Okay. So in all your years of doing this, what are some of the biggest, I don't want to say problems that you've seen? Like maybe people claiming other people or using their information to do things like that? And how
Yes.
can we keep that from happening, avoid those kind of things?
Yes, some people, I don't know how they get it, but sometimes they get information with other people's dependents, and they have to have some kind of, you have to have documentation, you have to have birth certificate, you have to have a social security, and it's kinship, it's certain documentation you have to even file for your EIC. And we have had people come in and really file with other people.
And how do y'all rectify those situations? Do y'all have to go in and like amend things like that?
Yes, well, sometimes if they come in and fill out the application, they say that's their child. Sometimes we don't know. If they fill out that application and sign it and we send it in, then sometimes a red flag will go with the IRS. Then they have to go back and show proof that that's their dependents. We have had problems like that in the past.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Aline, so much for coming in and speaking with us. It's been a pleasure. It's a very informative segment.
Okay.
So up next, we'll be taking a look at what goes into crowning SFA's own Miss Greek. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Welcome back to Jack Talk. I'm your host, Kristen Edwards. And today we're taking a closer look into Miss Greek pageant. The pageant is being hosted by Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity for the past 7 years. Here with us is the fraternity's president, Isaac Nidrar. All right, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so what kind of fraternity is called Tau Kappa Epsilon?
Tau Kappa Epsilon, or what they call us TEEK.
Okay.
We are a international social fraternity in the United States and Canada. We're founded in 1899. The chapter here at SFA was founded in 1972. Okay. And we get to claim that we're the largest fraternity in the world. So we're a social fraternity, but as part of that, we serve philanthropies. We do, each chapter usually does work for individual philanthropies, and then as a national organization, we raise money for St. Jude.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, and so for those who don't know, what is the Miss Greek pageant?
The Miss Greek pageant is put on by TEEK, but it's for the sororities here at SFA. And it's a talent show and a beauty pageant that raises money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Okay. Okay, and as of today, the pageant was about a week ago.
Yes.
And so, can you recap the pageant for us?
Yes. Well, as part of the preparation, we spend the months leading up to the pageant getting corporate sponsorships and selling tickets. We basically had a sellout, which is a really good showing, but we the sororities basically put 2 people forward to represent their letters, and they compete against each other. So the Chi Omega chapter here at SFA won last week.
Okay, and what was your favorite part?
My favorite part is always watching the performances. They're always unique and creative, and it's very interesting to see the various talents that the ladies perform, and it's always different. There's never 2 years where they're anything close to
Yes,
similar.
never the same thing every year.
Right.
All right, so I know the winner was Katerina Savangino, is
Yes.
that right? So what kind of qualities did she have that made the judges say, yes, that is Miss Greek 2015?
Well, I think her performance was very confident, which is something that they look for. We hire judges. We don't actually do the judging
Oh, really?
ourselves. Mothers Against Drunk Driving puts that together as part of their
Okay.
team.
Okay.
But ultimately, what they'll do is they'll take a top 3,
Okay.
and the 2 ladies from Tri Delta and the 1 from Chi Omega were those top 3 finishers.
Okay.
And then the top 3 will answer questions, and then based on the answers to those questions, the judges will reconvene, and then they'll select a winner. So
Okay.
Katerina was the winner in this case.
Okay, and I understand that this year's event is in memoriam of a past member of TEAC. Would you mind elaborating
Yes,
on that?
the Miss Greek pageant, the concept was created as a memorial to a member of Tau Kappa Epsilon here at SFA as a freshman who passed away 8 years ago
Oh, wow.
due to alcohol intoxication. And so Miss Greek was created both to raise money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, but also as an awareness pageant, an event that is big at SFA, that people attend, that raises awareness for what alcohol can do to a college student, especially a freshman who isn't necessarily used to drinking a lot, coming into a college environment. And I think that the idea behind creating Miss Greek in a lot of ways was to create awareness, to try to keep something from that, something like that from happening again going forward.
Right, and do you think that if he were here now, what do you think he would think in regards to the effort that gets put into Miss Greek? Do you think he'd appreciate that?
I would hope he'd be a big part of it.
That's great. And also, in regards to, well, what role do you have? What role do you think he had in the fraternity? Nick, do you remember?
He was well, of course I wasn't here 7 years ago, but he was a freshman, had just come into the fraternity, so he had just completed his candidate period. He was a very brand new member of the fraternity when this happened in his apartment, and it was a very shocking thing, for the community at SFA. And of course, none of the students here now remember this firsthand. But the fact that we're 8 years in the past, or 8 years in the future, and this is still such a big part of our fraternity and what we're trying to avoid going forward. He left a legacy, a very tragic legacy, but a legacy nevertheless that people remember that for.
Right, and you also mentioned that this is very not common, but it's happened. He was a freshman, and that TEAC also does to spread awareness to make sure this doesn't happen. Besides Miss Greek, do you guys do anything outside to continue to spread awareness about the wonders of alcohol?
Within our membership, alcohol awareness is a huge part of what we do. It's part of our education for our new members that come in, because we do want to make sure that nothing like that happens going forward. And it is an issue at college campuses, all over the country. And we can be we take responsibility in our membership to make sure that when alcohol is consumed, that people are aware of what the dangers are and how to do it safely. And so we take a huge priority in our membership and in educating new members as they come in on what alcohol is all about and where it can be dangerous. And then Miss Greek is our thing for the entire campus. So try to spread that beyond just our membership.
Right, so through education comes prevention.
Exactly.
All right, so with the funds that was collected from Miss Greek, where did they go towards?
The funds go to Mothers Against Drunk Driving in the Tyler chapter. We've been raising Miss Greek has been raising money for that chapter for the past 7 years, and they've actually awarded us with a service award for that event. They do it every year, and it's something that they look forward to doing every year here for SFA.
Right.
But we've built a good relationship with them over the years, and it's been something that's been fun to maintain.
Right, and it's good that you're being appreciated for all your hard work.
It is. It is.
All right, and also now looking towards the future, do you have any plans for next year's Miss Greek pageant?
Well, honestly, haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. We just finished, a week ago, but we'll probably start the specific planning right around Thanksgiving in the fall.
Okay.
That's usually where we start, and then we'll be putting the event together. And the goal, of course, every year is to break the numbers from the year before. So we're hoping, of course, that next year will be the biggest and the best that we've had up to this point.
Okay, so assuming that one of the requirements to participate in Miss Greek is that you have to be in a sorority, but are there any other requirements that future participants need to fulfill?
Well, the requirements that are put forward would be for the individual chapters. We allow each chapter to select the 2 members that will represent those letters, for that organization. So the chapters go about that individual ways. A lot of it will be based on volunteers, some of it's selection, but we leave that up to the chapters. And then they do their preparation and their planning ahead of time too. And they of course, help. And I think that's one of the great things about Greek life is the fact that all the sororities, sort of band together to assist us with this and to help us put this on for, for SFA's campus.
Okay, and do you guys have a screening process once the sororities pick whom they want to participate in Miss Greek?
They'll go through rehearsals.
Okay.
They'll go through rehearsals. We'll have the room a day ahead of time, and then we'll do rehearsals outside of that as well, so we can go through that process and we can plan it. We can time music and get the lighting that they want and those types of things ahead of time, so that once the show is on, everybody knows what they're supposed to do to help them do their act the best way.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Looking forward to next year already. It just happened, but it was a lot of fun. It always is a lot of fun. So
That's good. Having fun, education, and it leads to prevention.
absolutely.
All right. All right, up next, we have the Fashion Police. Sue, who we thought broke a few fashion rules at the 87th Annual Academy Awards. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to Jack Talk. For those who didn't get a chance to see the who's who on the red carpet during the Oscars last night, we've got you covered. We brought in Shamika Coleman, former F&M model, here to critique the Oscars red carpet event. Thank you for coming in. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
So, as a stylist in F&M, what was your role?
Well, I basically got the models ready for like different segments of the show, depending on what the segment was. You know, create outfits and different things to match the different segments and the theme of the show.
Okay, yeah, because y'all do have a different one every year or something
Yeah,
like that,
different
right?
theme every year.
Okay, well, let's just see what you thought about this year's Oscars red carpet event. So first up, we have Keira Knightley in Valentino. So how do y'all feel about this one?
Well, I mean, it's kind of definitely different. The vines and the floral. It works for her skin tone and her hair color.
Yeah, well, you know she's expecting, so do you think women who are expecting should wear something that flowy, or should they just, you know, embrace the bump? and
Definitely wear something
more formal?
flowy. I don't feel like they should have like tight clothes on their stomach, you know, be all...
Well, yeah, I like the flowy aspect of it, but I just don't think it was Oscars red carpet ready. I mean,
Nah, it's more like cocktail party or something, but
It's
I mean,
a
she
lot
looked
of
nice.
things. It's a lot of
Nice.
things. I'm just not really a fan of that
Yeah.
one.
What do you think she should have worn?
Black.
Black?
Black's a nice color.
Timeless, elegant,
Elegant,
always right.
red
for
carpet,
nighttime.
always
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Vines, not so much.
Okay. Up next, we have Lady Gaga and Zadine Alaya.
Lady Gaga, I don't know with that. I mean, I kind of liked it, but then I don't. I feel like she's like a big marshmallow.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, honestly, at first I was not a fan. When I thought about it, I mean, Lady Gaga is always known for wearing these huge, outrageous, like, character-like clothes. And I mean, this one, she toned it down a bit. I mean, it does still look very Little Red Riding Hood, Casper the Friendly Ghost, whatever you want to call it. But I mean,
Well,
it's her. And I mean, it's elegant, it's nice, but it still has that Lady Gaga feel.
But compared to what she usually wears, I'd rather have this any
Oh,
day.
yeah, most
I mean, she
definitely.
came to an
Most
event with
definitely.
a meat dress, so this is, I'll take this over a meat dress any
Yeah,
day.
definitely. It's definitely toned down. It's more elegant
Simplicity.
and classy.
A
I
lot
like
better.
it. Not so
For
much,
her.
but it was okay. Yeah, for her, great.
Okay, so up next we have Lupita Nyong'o in Calvin Klein collection. She's just all over the place with her
Yes.
fashion. I mean, she's on magazine covers. She's all over the red carpet. How did y'all feel about this one?
I think it's, I mean, they're like the others. It's timeless. It's classy. She's, you know, making statements, and she's doing it very well.
I like it. I really think it's Oscars red carpet ready. It goes beautifully on her skin tone. I mean, she just looks so pure and flawless, to be honest with you.
But do
I
you
just
think
like
with
it.
someone with such a slender frame, they should wear something more voluminous of their shape, like a ball gown?
No, not necessarily. Every slim person doesn't have to wear something poofy and vulgar. I think for her, it's great. Like, she looks really elegant and really nice in everything she wears. So for that dress, it was perfect for the Oscars and the red carpet.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, and you have to think about it. I mean, most models are about her
Uh,
size. So, I
yeah.
mean, if that, we would have no kind of variety, I think. So I do like it on her, the fit. Up next, we have Kerry Washington in Miu Miu. I like this one, guys. I really think it was nice.
I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I think if you look a little closer, it seems like the fabric's two different patterns.
Yeah.
So it's one thing where you can do different I know changing patterns is two different types of thing, but it just doesn't work here.
I don't know. I'm kind of in between. I kind of like it, but then I don't like the like hip shape of it, of the little flare. I don't know. It's in between for me.
Yeah,
The color's nice though.
Yeah, well, I noticed the flare of the actual top. It starts from her waist and it kind of fans out, and that's really popular with like with jeans or something. But do you think it works with this dress or?
Not this dress in particular. Maybe another dress, but for this particular dress and with the design and the stitching that it has on it, I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, for this, but she looks nice. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Kerry Washington. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, absolutely magnificent.
Do you think?
And I don't think she can really go wrong at this point.
Yeah. Do you think she could have done something more more updo-ish with her hair, or should it just? Because this seems like Saturday afternoon.
I mean, it goes with the
Or style.
dress, kind of.
I mean, to be honest with you, it gives me Scandal. I mean, in Scandal, she's always in white.
Gives me Scandal.
She always has on, like, like a white, beautiful coats
Yeah.
and things like that. So, I mean, I think she's giving you what the people want. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, up next, we have Zendaya and Vivienne Westwood.
I
now,
adore her.
Yes. Now, we have to talk about this one because there's been a lot of backlash in the tabloids and things like that. They're saying that they don't believe her wearing dreads, it was appropriate for the Oscars. How do y'all feel about that?
I love her dreads. I love it. It's like she did it so classy. She doesn't
Yes.
have like the messy bun going
Yeah.
into it, and then she has like an elegant dress. They're all neat, and I also do hair, so I would know that it's classic and it's beautiful. I love it on her.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it wasn't messy. It looks very well put together. Really, she looks like a muse, like a Greek muse to me. I mean, that's like off Hercules, that's what she reminds me of. I mean, she looks timeless, and she's very young. So I mean, she's being bold and breaking these fashion statements and these stigmas.
Yeah.
everything.
Do you know how old she is, or is she like 18, 19?
I don't
or?
even think she's 21 yet. So I know.
Yeah. Do you think for someone who's still like in their teens, they should start still like be more conservative with their look until they actually hit those 18, 19, 20, then they can start being as risque as they want, or should they?
Well, I think it really depends. I mean, because when you look at people like Kendall Jenner, I mean, she is
Yeah.
modeling and she's everywhere doing everything. I mean, so I don't think there's really anything
Yeah,
that can
and when
stop you.
Kendall Jenner did come out with the dreads, they was like, oh, it's risky, it's trendy, it's new. But then when she does it, it's a problem. But I think she looks great doing it.
And I just think a lot of the times, and we're in a new generation, she, like we said, she is young, she's of that newer generation. So, I mean, I think we can expect a lot of things from them, like, breaking fashion stigmas and things like that. And, I mean, she doesn't care. She's setting trends. I mean, she looks great, and she's under 21 at the Oscars, something most of us haven't or cannot do. So, I mean, I think she's doing great. Up next, we have Rosamund Pike and Givenchy. How do y'all feel about that?
She's my best dressed. I mean, I think
Yes.
she looks amazing in this dress. It fits well.
Beautiful
the color is
silhouette.
great.
Very nice.
I think it's great.
I think she's standing out. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll run this. That's
And
basically what
I'm
she looks like
surprised
right now.
because she has on red. I mean, and,
I thought she
the
used
clash with the
blush
red
in
carpet.
with the carpet.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it really stands out. She's pale. She's very pale, but I mean, it looks so good on her skin. The cut is very elegant. It really gives me like 1950s like.
And I like the fact that they
like,
pinned back her hair so
Supremes.
it won't like overthrow the dress, like a nice classy bun and everything.
Yeah, and I really don't even remember her from any of the red carpets, but I mean, right now she looks very good. I like it. It's very elegant.
Gonna be honest, I really don't know who she is, but that dress makes a statement.
But do you notice that she doesn't have any jewelry on? Is that they should if you're going to a red carpet event, should you try and incorporate jewelry of some
Not
sort?
necessarily. You don't want to you don't want to do too much. You don't want to do the most. So that dress itself, it says a lot. It does like stands out. So putting a lot of jewelry on top of that, then that would just flesh it out, and you just be like, okay, now she's not best dressed anymore. She's doing the most.
All right. And also, I noticed that in other outfits, it's they have a statement dress and maybe like a statement pair of shoes. So black dress, red shoes. And you
Yeah.
notice that in this picture, she's all red and red shoes too. Like, is that too matchy-matchy?
Yeah,
or
but I
is
think
it?
that's fine though. I mean, in regard to that, I think simplicity is like the best. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for coming in. That's all the time we have for this episode of Jack Talk. Hope you had as much fun as we did. So, see us next time on Jack Talk. Ask some Jacks. Thank you so much for coming in. It was really good. Yeah, it was cool. Like, I mean, I think it was a good segment. Like, we had a lot of fun and things like that.
I liked it. What y'all think? I think.
No, I know.